we're going to talk about Metcalfe's law, 7 cryptocurrencies that you could consider owning as a core hold that could go up in value as they grow. So hi, welcome to the channel. If you're new, subscribe, make sure you've hit that bell button. A lot of people do not do that. And also leave a like. Hi, happy Monday. So we're going to talk about this law that is kind of more famous in the telecommunications, industry in terms of network value. Your worth is in your network, right? It's kind of what they say. More members you've got, more interest, more, money's on the list, all that kind of, network marketing pish, right? But it actually works in company growth as well. We talk about, obviously, the internet. The more valuable the internet is due to users, the more a stock is worth is because of users. Look at the likes of Apple, look at the likes of Google, Facebook. As the numbers get bigger, so does the value, right? But this leads us on to cryptocurrencies as well. Now, it's a very, very simple kind of mathematical equation. It's linear, for starters, so linear growth as things grow. Bitcoin, we always say, we're early. Boomers don't get it. Millennials are going to be the richest people in the world at some point in the future. We get it, we understand it. And this is even better when you start considering the fact that there is cryptocurrencies that kind of align to this. Now, these are very obvious picks. Don't kill me. These are not low cap gems. These are not stuff that are like digging up in your garden. These are right in front of you right now that have all these traits that could lead to an increased value over a long period of time. Not financial advice. Do not be a little weak paper hand person when there's a little dip. Right. So, 1, linear growth. Most cryptocurrencies are backed by demand from one asset, Bitcoin, right? We know it works with Bitcoin pretty well, but we also understand that Bitcoin will also bring down Satoshi values in altcoins. So we've got to kind of look at things that kind of go against Bitcoin a little bit over the period of time that's happened. What would allow that to happen? Well, growth of their own ecosystem that is different to what Bitcoin have. So we're not looking at the same sort of thing that Bitcoin does. Bitcoin is a store of value. These coins that I've picked all do something a little bit different and will all work in a similar sort of way. They either have increased amount of token value, i.e. transactions, wallet increasing, and fee burns and stuff like that that'll help the ecosystem grow and be also a little bit scarce. So when we talk about where things are going to go and where things happen, we all can see that this is kind of basic data that the more wallets in Bitcoin, the more users in Bitcoin, the more fees that are put through it, the more transactional volume in terms of usage, less, on the exchanges, scarcity, the more people holding, the more people less selling, it's going to increase the value. But it's also the same with altcoins, right? So the first one is obviously Bitcoin. You should always be looking as a core hold Bitcoin, right? Why? 21 million market cap. Boom. Million supply, sorry, not market cap. Silly. We already know there's about 4 to 5 million lost, right? So, yeah. Scarcity, mining, halving, the demand, the use case of going against the US dollar in terms of the hedge. Yeah, right. I don't have to explain too much about that. If you're not holding Bitcoin, you're doing things wrong. You should always be profiting in Bitcoin. The next one, the obvious one, second on the list, Ethereum. Why? Users, still growing. Yes, there's problems with fees, but it's still growing. People want to go to Ethereum. The fees are going to change massively. There's also a potential of a fee burn coming into play. There's also a potential of a market cap, physical kind of cap in terms of the maximum supply of Ethereum with the new proposals coming in. So that's going to make it sound the money, not what it is today. So there's definitely going to be interest there. The bigger the Ethereum machine gets, the more valuable it's going to become. I still think Ethereum's undervalued. I've said this for a few times now. When you compare that where it was in the past, 200 billion market cap, what it does, where it can go, yes, it needs to be fixed. There's other alternatives, yes, I know, and I'll cover them. But when we're looking at a crypto ecosystem where people can build on, the more builders, the more developers, the more use case in that stream aligned, or whatever you want to call it, it's going to get very, very interesting, and that will obviously increase value. The next one is obviously the one just below it. Now, why Binance Coin, you're probably asking? Binance is probably one of the leading lines of purchasing, exchange, spot, futures. It's a fee machine, right? They have token burns. They have a maximum supply. Their circulating supply is pretty much all out there anyways. That's a good starting point. The more people that go to Binance, the more people that use Binance, the more people that trade with Binance, the more people that send their money through the Binance chain. There's 4 things already on fees. You got one coin, one token, right? BNB. It gets used on token burns. It gets used on, you're burning your dust essentially. They're all going to be worked in such a way that these fees are reduced, and it's just pure utility. There's no reason why, there's no surprise that this has gone crazy over the last few weeks. And then you look at the BSC, the Binance Smart Chain. It's getting more used than Ethereum right now because the fees are lower. Network value, the more people that use it, the more it's going to go up. So that, in my opinion, should be something to consider when you're looking at other coins. Now, the next one, I'm not going to talk about Cardano, but I'm going to talk about Polkadot. Polkadot, again, similar ilk to Ethereum. The more substrates, the more parachains, right? The more relay chains. You can see where I'm going here. The more companies that are building this, all these companies that share the fees for the Polkadot ecosystem, the more people that stake Polkadot, the more people that do transactional values and trading volume through Polkadot, it's gonna increase its worth. Now we're talking about things that are big against Bitcoin here. These run against Bitcoin too. Bitcoin has done well. Binance Chain has blown up recently. So has Polkadot, essentially versus BTC. Ethereum hasn't yet though, but its time will come. It's important to consider that. But again, can you imagine 100 parachains on Polkadot? All the relay chains, the pay-as-you-go chains as well, technically, which relay chains. It's going to get very, very interesting very, very quickly. The next one. Now, we're going to move down the list a little bit. We're going to go a little bit of a different use case here. We're going to talk about Theta. Again, we're talking about network values here. Look how valuable the likes of YouTube is, Google. And if you don't know anything about Theta in terms of its use case, this is going to be very, very interesting. The more users that use this, the more streamers that use this, the more of a community-based driven content that this gives us, the more valuable it's going to become. You can see here already how it kind of looks to be mimicked, copied, or a copy of said big platforms in social media. We all know how valuable social media is. So as a cryptocurrency, the money is going to be in there on the users. So that's important. As you can see here, the nodes, lots of nodes running around the network. The partnerships obviously going to give some sort of value anyways, monetary value due to its names involved. It's important. Now you can see here the problem, and it's something that I would love to use in the future. I think this is going to be an absolute excellent opportunity for people to get involved in content creation versus the likes of what we are used to today. So again, we're talking about network values here. That's important. And we talk about people joining networks. Well, there's a lot of people with a lot of audience that could be using Theta in the future. So the next one is as well, we're going to go down the list a little bit more now. And this one's an interesting one. Now, I speak about this quite a lot. Zilliqa. Now, why Zilliqa, you're probably wondering. Zilliqa is fast, it's efficient, it's cheap to use. It's still just starting its journey as well. But it has token burns within. So if you're looking at this tweet here, 774,000 tokens were burnt in the last month, and it is growing. So what does this give us? This gives us a little bit of scarcity of circulating supply. They have a total cap, which is good. They have a maximum cap, which is good. But they're burning fees, which is a part of their token model. They have a lot of people staking the currency. A lot of interest there. More and more people are opening wallets with Zilliqa. More and more people are building on Zilliqa. More and more people are using Zilliqa to send money over. There's going to be an Ethereum bridge as well. Token flow is going to be massively important. So you can put that recipe together at a much lower scale in terms of a a 1.6 billion market cap asset here, which could grow over time due to its use case and its usability versus the likes of Ethereum or the Binance chain. That's important to look at. So again, Silica looks pretty good. And the last one, now I can't quite find it on here. I think it's a little bit lower. Yeah, it is Voyager. Why Voyager? I mentioned this ages ago. It's doing very, very well. But again, it's a similar sort of ilk to the fact of the regulation issues in America. More and more people will look to use this to buy cryptocurrency. You got to think, we are early. The money in this is going to be on how many people are buying the asset, right? In America, it's somewhat restricted to buy. There's only so many places to buy. You can only go to Coinbase, and people get frustrated with that. You can only go to Binance US, but there's very, very limited amount of tokens on there. People want to use something that's a bit more free and a bit more available. Voyager seems to fill that gap, and in my opinion, they're doing the DeFi stuff, the staking model stuff, all there. More and more people that use it, more and more people use actually a regulated company, technically a Canadian-based company that is on the public market over there. That's kind of a big thing. $1 billion market cap right now. It was a lot lower not too long ago, but we're talking about network values here. The more people that come into the space are going to be exposed to the likes of Voyager. They're going to be exposed to the likes of Binance as well, other payment assets and stuff like that in terms of buying into coins. It's going to make the value go up. The more members that these guys have, the better it is. And look at their maximum and total supply. Circulating supply, it's all out. It's all out. So what's going to be good with this one? Well, users. More and more people use it, using that token as well. It's going to get very, very interesting, very, very fast. And that is another option that you can look at. Look at loads. But in all honesty, there's loads of coins out here that will grow due to people, members, users, utility, fees, scarcity. You've got to think that and look at how valuable Bitcoins became. Why? People want it. What about if that mentality shifts over to Ethereum? What about if it shifts over to Polkadot? What about an exchange that they've never really used before, but they know the value in that as it grows in value? People as investors are going to be looking at these things. So there we go. Hope you enjoy. Leave a like if you like this video. Subscribe, hit the bell button, and yeah, I'll see you again very, very soon.